Hello, welcome back to Mr. Arsenal podcast for this week's episode of Match of the Day. Match day 3. 3 days in, I'm always like, well, 3 match days in anyway, and I'm always like, But yeah, match day 3, as you saw earlier, we did cover the Arsenal game, as we always do. So we know the result there, but obviously there's 5 other Premier League games, all goals in, thankfully, unlike last week. A lot of goals, as I say, a lot of goals, drama, and a nice little London derby in there as well between Fulham and Brentford. Leicester, there's stuff going on there. They play Southampton today at home. Everton still going through what they're going through, playing at home to new promoted Forest. And Patrick Vieira versus Steven Gerrard from Selhurst Park. Obviously, when Arsenal ain't playing, there's only one man I'm backing in that situation, and it ain't fucking Gerrard. And yeah, lastly, that lot down the road. We're at home today against Wolves. But as I say, every game that we feature today, all goals, and we're going to go through them all. Could not just obviously relive the Arsenal, but go through the Arsenal game in highlight form and reanalyse that as you go through it. But we'll also be analysing and touching on the rivals and other teams, their performances and results as well, respectively. Got Troy in the chat. Big up, Troy. How you doing, my friend? Hopefully, Mr. Bungle will join us soon. Hopefully, touchwood. And a few of the others as well, as we always do. By the way, since last season, we started doing this sort of content for the channel. We always come on live 5 minutes before the show is actually due to air on the BBC, so it gives everyone enough time to come in, turn it on themselves, get them tea, coffee, or whatever, and sit back and watch it and give your own. Again, you give out your thoughts as well on respective teams and this and the other. Not just me talking, it'll be obviously me interacting with you guys. And also, if you're new to the channel as well, or if you are in the chat watching currently, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the content around on all your major platforms, or your Facebook groups, and all that jazz, pages, whatever, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever way you like to share your content. Fuck's sake. Yeah, feel free to share around, basically. Just hoping to grow the community we're building here even faster, and make it even stronger than what it already is. Yeah, I do love doing these Match of the Day streams when Arsenal are on, especially when Arsenal won that day as well. Makes it a bit easier to do this. So when Arsenal lose, no matter who it's against, these are always going to be harder to do because you've got to relive the fucking bullshit. But when it's in the positive mood, positive times, we can just enjoy it that bit more. I'll say that, get rid of it. Put subtitles on. Well, I don't need subtitles, but you know what I'm saying. Roll the titles. There we go. Auto's down a minute. The London Derby's on first. Okay, that's cool. That's fair enough. It's goals from both. There's a lot of drama, a lot of goals. There's a London Derby, big win. Why not? Yeah. Yeah, Sky. The BBC taking digs at Sky. There we go. Well, Martin Keown, gay Arsenal legend, but Danny Murphy, really? With the B team at the full. If it's Sheer and Keogh, you can get on with it, or writing, but bloody hell. I've got to listen to Dane Murphy fucking moaning about fucking Arsenal winning later on. Yay. If I'm Thomas Frank now, I'll be fuming from this. I was at full time. If I'm him, I'm bollocking that these players, because after putting the performance they did last week against United, and I know United aren't all that, but to put that performance in and then do this today, even though it isn't like again, it's London derby and all that local derby, it's still like you've turned up for one and not the other. Bloody hell! Oh my god! First attack of the game for fucking Fulham. Bit scrappy. It was a scrappy goal. It wasn't a full-on team effort goal. It was in terms of great football build-up play. It was as scrappy as you can get. But they're taking it. They're fair. They didn't want fair play when they took it. It's just Brentford was just all over the place defensively, just ball watching. No, not the Spuds game isn't on. When it's just Fulham v Brentford first. I think it's Brentford. I don't know why. Brentford first. Then it's our game. Yay! I didn't catch the rest of them after this one. So I didn't catch the rest. I think Tottenham might, because it's like a 1-0 win, wasn't it? So I think that might be on last. I might. That's the case. Just talk about bullshit. That's the case. Any old bullshit basically to get through that 5-10 minutes. Oh, that's a dirty challenge. Got lucky there. Look. No God as well. Oh my God. I've got to say that counts. Because again, I haven't seen the actual game, so I don't know. Is it him that's actually off? Yeah, he's white. Oh, ooh. I mean, there's others that are offside, so that'd be interesting. Stefan, how could you? How could you do that to me? I did retract it. I hope so. Oh dear. Injury saying no debut yet. No debut, which leads me to believe that he will start next week as well. He is now the number one choice, basically, unless he has an absolute mare. Which again, it benefits us. One, that's a good goal, actually. Well done. Was that Mitchell? Is that Mitchell? Who's 26? That's not Mitrovic, but who's that? Paulinho. Oh, okay. You've got to give him a lot of space, though, to get that head off. Look. No one really marks him at all. Not properly, anyway. Bloody hell. But it's the same about Leno in terms of making his debut today, and then more likely starting next week against us. If anything, that benefits us because we know what his strengths are. We know what his weaknesses are. It'd be naive of us not to use that to our advantage. And sorry, Bert, but for this game, for this home game, we've got to put you in your place, basically. It is gonna be weird seeing Leno playing Premier League for another team that isn't Arsenal. I have to admit, it's always going to be weird, but that's a good goal. Norgod, what a goal that was. From the set piece as well. Haven't got much to do, to get updates of Steph. Nothing personal on that. Well, we won this week, so you can't dislike my stuff this week because we won. No, that's a really good goal actually from Norgard again. He's a decent little player. Proved in the last year or so for Brentford in the league. At 2-2, that's Ivan Toney. Just the goal that got disallowed though, because there was a goal that got disallowed. They're going to show that, or just actually no, they're going to show this goal. Good, well taken either way. But good. One set. Oh, BA, yeah, they're checking for VAR, but it was well taken. It was well taken short. No, they didn't stand a chance there. Defenders gave Tony way too much space though. Way too much space. And they got punished for it, but obviously it does get ruled off for offside. Saliba will pocket Mitrovic next Saturday. Going by how Saliba started already this season, again 3 games in, I think he'll fucking pocket the entire team on his own if he wanted to. Are you tuning from that? You might get you might get a few events with anything kicks off that I don't like. So you might just stay around for that. By the way, you're not going to get many events you'll get a few events throughout the season, obviously, because in terms of the watch-alongs and all that we do, the live Arsenal watch-alongs anyway, when we underperform and get beaten against the teams, anyone in general that we lose against is going to have that sort of immediate reaction from us, but not to that level. You're going to get Man United this season. I think you'll get. I'll say this. It might come back and bite me in the arse coming into the season, but I reckon you're going to see a lot more ranting. What's Leno doing now? What is he doing? That's one thing I won't miss with Leno not being at Arsenal. He's doing things like that. But what's I say now? No, I was going to say, in terms of rants, I think you're going to see a lot more rants on the likes of the Tottenham channels and all that, Expression and the Cramp Twins and all that. Than you will do on an Arsenal channel. Well, the majority of Arsenal channels anyway. There you go, there's Tony's goal. What the hell are they defending? Then there was in no man's land as well. I need to watch that again because there's no way that was offside. There we go. Then there's the City's near post. This is sort of no man's land. Just again, when I say no man's land, he's on his near post now. But when the ball's coming across, he just stays basically on that near post. Doesn't come across the goal where the ball is. And the ball's obviously that's going to happen. What happens there? But the defence doesn't help him at all there. They're all just standing there stagnant, and the ball just comes across. Tony, boom, goal. Stefan's like, I'm like a kid waiting for Christmas on Monday night. There's some good news for you. Even though it's an Arsenal channel, me and Colin will be doing a watch along Monday night for Man United v Liverpool, in the hope that Man United get thumped again. I'm like a kid watching waiting for Christmas. We touched on that. Colonel saying your watch along views. Yeah, this does do sort of not do my head in, but it sort of messes my head a bit in terms of my watch along views. My views in general for watch alongs are a lot higher than what I'm getting from the podcast. I do the podcast when I do my actual podcast stuff, which is concerning. But at the same time, there's something I've got to work on then to just try and get that back up to where it used to be and beyond. But yeah, watch along views have been mad. I mean, today, I need to double check that actually. What's that now? I mean, today's, what was it? Because Crystal Palace over 500. Last week against Leicester over 200. And today, before they even finished, it was around 600 odd. One set. 500-600, I think it was. Yeah, and now it's at 876. Good evening, Russ. How are you doing, my friend? Rosario, predominantly going Arsenal, United, and Ipswich and Celtic channels. Well, Ipswich have started off well, haven't they? Top of League One. So I know it's early days. We've been there before for Ipswich, so they start off well. A few years back, when he first fell into League One, and unbeaten, and then there's one defeat. Your whole season just sort of went. But it started off well. As I say, you're literally there's one position between you and your rivals as well. I think it was anyway until yesterday. Hopefully, your dysfunctional, injury-ridden team can give you that Ryan. By the way, credit to you lot. I really like that Jesus signing. You haven't seen, by the way, for a while. They're keeping well, and yeah, he got a lot of injuries, but surely, even with the injuries you guys have got at Liverpool, surely that can't affect. Can't when I say affect, it can't affect the outcome. Basically, surely it can't because United are shambles, and you've got all the media. If you listen to the UK, because I think you're sitting in Gibraltar, unless you've moved since I last spoke to you. But the UK media are so desperate for United to win or get a result. It's when I say that they are literally touching on the main thing they're grasping on is the injuries you've got at the moment, or that should give them hope. But that gives United a chance, and this, that, and the other. Paul Merson earlier, when they were talking about on the Soccer Saturday, Clinton Morris could have talked about obviously what would happen if they lost and Man United lost, and this, that, and the other. And basically, Clinton Morrison pipes up as well. I'll ask a question to Paul Merson because Paul Merson mainly touched on it at this point, and he was like, and Clinton basically asked, "What if United lose 4-5-0? That ain't gonna happen." Like, Paul Merson's like, "That ain't gonna happen." I mean, sorry, what? That happened last year. 5-0 at Old Trafford, 4-0 at Anfield, and it could have been a lot more at Old Trafford as well if Liverpool hadn't showed mercy. I think Mane, because you're actually seeing another comment now. I think Mane is going to be a big thing for you guys to get hurdle-wise to get over for this season. Doesn't help when your new striker gets himself sent off in his home debut. By the way, that doesn't help. If he doesn't, if obviously it's no matter what in terms of result or what Palace, no matter what, if Nunes hadn't got sent off and he was obviously available for Monday night, it'd be more heavily in. I'll say it'd be more heavily in your guys' favour to do another thumping. Mate, Mate, as an Arsenal fan, like yourself as a Liverpool one, I'm enjoying its demise, and long may it continue. Don't how many people were winning by the way. Oh dear. Oh no, this is the thing with United fans though. They want all this change and all. They don't want all these mercenaries. But if I can ask for mercenaries, in terms of obviously, there's clips going around from things on from Terry's the Football Services channel from last year. Basically, they're talking about Arsenal transfer business last year, and they're going, "Oh, it's Arsenal. Why aren't they making big signings and this, that, and the other? This is how low they're falling." Da 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 da. And then you come for sure what a year. But it's like the mentality of Man United fans is we can't if we do that, but we can't do that because we're Man United. We're better than that in terms of following our sort of structure, in terms of getting out all the mercenaries and all the deadwood, and going for, say, a young, vibrant team that wants to win things. That's young and hungry. But we're too good for that. We're Manchester United. We need to buy big many signings. Have we not done nothing in the last 12 months in Arsenal then? Yeah, that's not the case. And that's why I think with United, it was a continuing. This is it won't get any better for United. It will just keep going and going and going and going. And the next up, anyway. Arsenal. Oh dear. Here comes the first goal. Anyway, they're going straight to the first goal. Here we go. Saliba. There you go. White's hoof in the air, and Gabriel making something out of nothing. Martinelli, boom, and Odegaard. Martin Odegaard. Now the real match of the day. Exactly. The best match of the day. Oh dear. Anyway, John. Obviously, as I say, I've seen for a while. If you are around on Monday, you want to pop on. You would have a vested interest in the game. If you want to pop on, let me know, and I'll send you a link. Obviously on Monday, but just let me know. I'm offline and all that. Give me a message, and we'll sort that out. It has been a while since I've had you. It has been a while since you've been on as well. So if you want to, as if you want to, anyway, the offer's there. Saka, White, Jesus, Odegaard comes in first. Fuck off, that's mine. Yeah, I think, mate, you're going to see a lot of that this year in terms of United, Man United fan channels and all that in general. You're going to see a lot of that, trust me. Casemiro isn't doing nothing in the Premier League. 350k a week. That's what I'm saying. This is all they do. They ain't learning nothing as a club. They ain't learning nothing from the last 10 years, basically. They're repeating the same thing over. They did it under Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Oli, and now they're doing the same thing to Ten Hag. This is why things aren't going to change, because they're doing the same thing. They're just going, there's a problem. The fans on our back. They're going to protest against us again. Throw money at it. Mate, you threw money at Alexis Sanchez. What was it, 500k a week, maybe more? You got one goal in 2 years, 2.5 years. Klopp, key players underperforming, fatigue, predictable tactics, FSG being stingy, Klopp being stubborn. Yeah, Klopp's been really moaning. There we go. There's Saliba. Saliba beauty. Goal of the day. This is goal of the day. I don't care. He's a centre back and he scored a goal like that. No. And then does the whole celebration in front of the home fans. And it's literally like that between the pitch and the fans. He's really got in their faces. No, in terms of Klopp, I was about to say about Klopp, he's got very moany over the last 6 months or so. He's really pissing me off now. Dry pitch FC, this about Fulham. Then he went off on before the game, before even the ball was kicked last on Monday night. He was asked why Nunez was starting, and the snarkiness that came back as an answer wasn't needed. Boom, but he got taken off of fucking offside. That Saliba goal was amazing. It was, mate. I don't know if he was in the stream or who caught it back or before we went live here. But it was myself, Melvin, and we had Liam in the chat as well. In the stream, sorry. And it's like we all were like, "Fucking hell, yes, get in there." And the fact, I think Liam, out of the three of us, Liam was more focused on the celebration and the goal at one point. No, it was good assist from Saka as well. Good, brought it down. Good touch there. Saw Saliba was coming in, passed it off to him, and it didn't take a touch. He just went, pop. Watching it back, he's just literally, he's hitting it. He has a little hop in the air as he hits it, and he knows the second. The thing is that what makes it even better is you knew it was going in. The second it left his foot, as it was going towards goal, you knew it was going in. Mate, rival fans like yourself and other fans in and around the league and the media are going to see why we were as Arsenal fans, we were so wanting to see Saliba play for Arsenal last year. Why we were so upset that we didn't get that chance. But in hindsight, it's worked out for the best because he's got another year experience and he's come back an even more complete player. He's 21. That's the scary thing. He's 21. Oh, I didn't. Not my words. Well, the FC bit was, but the dry pitch was that. Not my words. They were Klopp's words after Fulham. Remember. Going to check out the Super Bowl. Won't see much today tomorrow. The other night, I love Klopp. But it's embarrassing excuses, and it also feels like Wenger, where people will use anything to defend Klopp. Like everything he says has a hidden meaning against the owners. No, you have to be both. Oh dear. I've had for a 13-minute conversation on Harry Kane and how. No, that's what I'm saying. As long as Tottenham's the last game, we can sort of skip past that. We can talk about random crap. Whatever it's on, we just talk about random crap. I don't care about them. We do our thing, and we focus on them. Come the start of October, we have to play them. Apart from that, we just do our thing. I'm not getting involved in the media mind games that are going to start playing up. They're going to start. They have been playing stuff against each other because of the rivalry. Oh dear. Yeah, guys are talking about Zinchenko now. Mate, Zinchenko as well. He has been an absolute breath of fresh air in terms of being that player that comes in, starts off at left back, but even though he's in the starting level, he's known as a left back. When we're on the ball, he does drifting. I've noticed as well today. He does do a lot of drifting into the midfield to help give a third option in that midfield. Not as a pivot, but it turns into a trio. It makes us more offensive and more hard to break through. But when we haven't got the ball and he goes straight, he slots perfect back into left back. And look at this. It's like, just cool, calm, and collected. Doesn't panic, doesn't stress. Just does his job. Let's be honest. In terms of your comment about being a Klopp, all the top managers. Let's be honest here. Throughout our lifetimes, Sir Alex Ferguson, or even Arsene Wenger, when we lost games against, especially when Arsenal was that team that was going to toe United for the title, etc. We were that competitive team, winning leagues and all that, or competing for the league. He was a sore loser as well. Ferguson was the same, to the point where he refused to do interviews sometimes, depending on who they lost against. Pep's been that sore loser as well at times. His time at Arsenal, time at Man City side. All the top managers are. There's no doubt about that. Again, I bet it was Sanders. I don't know why the sound is goal, by the way. They were talking about Saliba, and then they've shown a goal. Of a random goal from God knows about the 90s, 80s era. Big and I haven't got sound on, so I'll pop it anyway to know what they're talking about. Yes. Zenny's reaction. If anyone doesn't know, I even touched it during the stream. The Sky cameras literally as they're getting ready to restart again against Bournemouth today, when obviously Bournemouth get ready to restart the game again. The cameras are obviously, one of the cameras has obviously got on Zinchenko, and obviously they relayed it back to us. And he was, as the ball left his foot and gone in, Zinchenko's like, he's just gone. His head's everything's like his soul's left his body. He doesn't know what's going on. He's like, how has that gone in? Looking at the grass, looking at the heavens, and just like, what the fuck has just happened? But then going up and start hyping himself and going again. Here we go. Villa versus Palace now, the next game. This has been an interesting one. As I say, Vieira versus Gerrard, and sorry overnight, but I'm backing my guy. I was always going to back my guy for this game today. Saw that on YouTube. That was a mad reaction. I had to laugh. I literally, because as I was saying, we're watching the game, and literally they've got Melvin and Leo still talking about the goal. And I've looked up, and there's literally just like a replay of Zinchenko just like losing his mind about the goal. Just like the ball's gone in, and he just goes, turns around, and he's like rubbing his eyes, talking to himself, looking up to the heavens, looking back down. What the fuck was that? And then started hyping himself up and getting ready to restart the game again. It's just brilliant. That summed it up. Oh dear, but again, there we go. This Watkins 1-0. That was poor defending though from Vieira Palace. That's poor defending. Just let Watkins run through and have that space to get the shot off like that. Never Night says, "Oh, legend is getting sad. Sorry, Stevie, I love you, love you, but something just isn't right. He wasn't ready for the Prem. He might never be." Good point, and I think, I think the second he should have stayed at Rangers. I said this back last year. He should have stayed, but if anything, him doing them dirty benefited Rangers because obviously they then brought in Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, got to a European final, and almost won a European Cup. Even though it doesn't have the title where it did, but still. And we'll see what happens this season. I know they dropped points today, but we'll see what happens with them this season. But yeah, the second things are going good. Premier League subs video came calling, and he just went, "Okay, cool, boom." That's a good goal from Zaha, by bloody hell. Biel's got something out of him, like you. More so this season. Last season, Zaha's like that's Zaha basically what we've seen from him. But it started off this season, to be fair to him, apart from obviously against Arsenal, match day one. But last week and this week, he's been fantastic so far. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, he should have stayed at Rangers. But the second of Premier League because he wants to be the eventual, he wants to take over. It's well known. He said it himself. He wants to take over from Klopp when Klopp does leave or get wherever. He just jumped at the first opportunity. A Premier League club came calling, and he just jumped at the opportunity instead of actually staying at Rangers for at least the rest of that last season and then going again for this season. He just jumped ship straight away, and I think, as I say, like you say, the something isn't right. It's bizarre. It's bizarre, and they look weaker, ironically, than what they did this time last year, which is weird. When I say it's weird, because majority of the players that were there last year are the same players I'm talking about now. Because mentally and in every aspect, they just look massively weaker. And I think what's really fucked him, and what's really fucked that now in the coffin for him eventually, is how what was that? Is how he adjusted Tyrone Mings just before the season started in terms of ripping the armband off him, giving it to McGinn, and not even giving him vice captaincy. And when he's asked to explain why he's done that by the media, well, he wasn't my captain. I inherited him. That was a good goal from Sarup. I think he's taken off offside, but it's a goal-taking goal. But yeah, that's going to be the final. I think that whole situation, the Ming situation, and then not playing him on opening day, not playing him, and going, I'm going to play him when he basically read between the lines what he said. When he falls into line, then I'll play him. A week later, he's playing. And yeah, I wants to put his foot down, but if he really didn't want Mings to be his captain after once the last season was out the way, he should have done that privately, but a lot earlier but literally as they come back from pre-season, change your captain. Don't wait until literally a week going into the fucking last 7 days before the season starts. Go, you're not my captain. You're my captain. Why did I take that off him? Because he weren't my captain in the first place. He's not even going to be my vice captain. It's going to be Martinez and X, Y, and Z. He's not even in my top 5 basically. Being like, well, come on. He's just asking for trouble. He's a fan, even though we have our thoughts on him here on the channel in terms of his performances in the Euros. He's a fan favourite bidder. It's just bizarre how he handled that situation. This is the thing as well. It's like, in a crossbar. Sorry about that. I hope my microphone is working. But yeah, say about him being charged a bit harsh. The irony, there's a bit of irony behind that because obviously, put it coming up on the screen now. His comments about Benitez over the years about Benitez being very standoffish and very harsh and very full on. He's actually the exact same as Benitez, if anything. If you listen again, going back to the interviews that he's done, talking about Benitez as a manager, with anything, he's doing the exact same. If what we're being told about Benitez is true, then Gerard's doing the exact same thing, but anything different is that he's doing it public. He's actually doing it even worse because he's doing it publicly for the whole world to see. It's just bizarre as a play. He complains about bloody Rafa, or his penalty, you want to say it. So Zaha against Martinez. All good hand there, but then nice easy tapping. Nice easy tapping. Oh, and Zaha just did something as he scored. He turns around and says something to Martinez. Martinez just throws himself back up like, you fucking what? And Zaha's like, I got you. Oh, that's good. That was a good goal. Who was that? Is that Motd? Mitchell, this is great. Mitchell, he's one to look out for. In terms of any of the top 16, well, say top 16, so any of the top 5 teams. Not the top 5 because they're United. So, well, they should look at. The thing is, United should look at someone like Mitchell. There's a potential young, hungry player that wants to do well, wants to come in and win things with United and help be part of that team that goes back to competing again. But United fans won't have that because of what happened with what's happened with Wan-Bissaka in the last couple of years. They won't have that now. Won't have it in general, but anyway. So in terms of the Man City, Liverpool, us, Chelsea. Anyone missing that there? No. We should all be looking target, try and eventually within the next year to 18 months, bring in this Mitchell lad. He's young, hungry, English, homegrown player. I don't think there's only one way up. He's got, and because of how young he is, there's potential to go even. He's seen to go even higher if you coach him right. Gilda's a bit harsh when he talks to the media. He's always been like that. But in England, that type of stuff is dangerous. Yeah, it is. Yeah, as a player, Stefan, we've got no problem with Gerrard. Was a fantastic player, even as a rival growing up. He was a rival playing for Liverpool. He was a fantastic player. Let's not get it twisted. And he always there was a point in the early to mid noughties where he was a pain in our asses. It was always home or away. He'd find a way of scoring against us. Apart from 2006 when he assisted on me, like he did in 2004 for France. Literally, the turn down goes, there you go, oh, on me, okay. Back to the centre circle I go. If Spurs finish above you in third and you get fourth and no trophy, you still mad at Arteta for that one? Mate, I'm not going to be mad at that. I won't be mad at him for that because that's depending. No matter what, look, no matter what, the painful as it will be to finish below them again, and they've been going, even though he's in top four, we finish above you. That's our trophy for the year. I don't care. I'm doing, as I say, I'm concentrating on my team. We want to fucking celebrate being above us. Ooh. The main aim is getting us back in that Champions League, one way or the other, the league or the Europa League. Oh, personally, I want the league. I want the league. I want us in the top four. The best case scenario for us is third, and obviously, as I say, I want Europa League. I want that European duck off our back as well. So I want that personally. But if we don't win anything, but we get in the top four, even if they're not want to fucking celebrate the invisible trophy that finished above us for another year, even to it, because again, it's still in terms of league position wise, it's still progress. It's still going in the right direction. We're still going in that right direction. But honestly, from what I've seen in the first Tottenham v Southampton aside for the second match day one, that aside, what I saw last week, they got lucky last week against Chelsea, and what I saw today, again, got lucky today. I know, again, it's only a few games in, but I'm not as fearful as the media are going to make out that everyone should be. Which, again, it's early stage, game by game, got a World Cup coming as well, so the real test to see where Arsenal are comes in October. Start off with Tottenham at home, week later against you guys. Then we've got a winnable game, and then we've got City at home. The winnable game's away, but we've got City at home. Then two other winnable games. I think Everton and Brentford. Found on, is it or not? No, of course not. But the person you dislike said you should be challenging. If not, he has to go. Incoming wind up. You bastard. Oh dear. Look, us. You're talking about, obviously, if that was the case, I'm talking scenarios and all that. If we were to finish top four, but at the expense, you don't win a trophy and them not finish third, but no trophy themselves. Again, I'm not going to fucking look. If that's the case, and I'm going to, mate, we'll be back in the top four, back in Champions League. I don't care. As much as Tottenham fans want to believe, in terms of league position, in terms of them finishing above us, it doesn't bother me that much. And what bothered me, the only reason it bothered me last season is because it they got fourth at our expense. We finished fifth. We finished outside. If we'd both finished in the top four, but they finished third and we finished fourth last season at the expense of Chelsea, I'll just be concentrating on the fact we're back in the Champions League. And that's the same. That would be the same ethos that if what you're mentioning here happens, in terms of if Arsenal were to finish in the top four, but no trophy in Liverpool, Tottenham finish third. That'd be the same thing I do in terms of okay, they're third, whatever. I'm just ecstatic as an Arsenal fan. We're back in Champions League after 6 years of exile from the Champions League, for my own doing. We're back in the big time. Then it's next season where, obviously, assuming we don't, as I say, we assume we do get in top four this year, back in the Champions League. It's then we now need to go one better and start actually challenging, making a notable challenge for the title, not winning the title. I wouldn't say win the title, but challenge it. And when I say challenge, I mean a proper challenge, not what Chelsea did last year, 4 away after fucking 5 months. A proper challenge, which we are challenged from day one all the way to, at the very least, 3 days for this 3 game match days before the end of the season. At the very least. And then obviously win a trophy along, win the League Cup or FA Cup, go somewhat deep in the Champions League, say quarterfinals. Quarterfinals at a push would be a decent season for us. If we were to get back in the Champions League this season and next season, go push for a title to the last few games of the season, but just fall short that way. But we're still showing growth in that sense. Win one of the domestic cups, at least one of the 2 domestic cups, League Cup or FA Cup, and get to a cup final of the Champions League. Again, it's progress, and then the following season, you reset your targets and go, right, you've won it. You now got to push it. You've got to win. You've got to go and do your best to win the title, defend your cup that you've won, win the FA Cup, and go a bit further in the Champions League, and just keep going and pushing, and build up a progression as every year goes on. Just be reasonable. For me, that's reasonable. Obviously, it won't be reasonable for most people, but that's for me reasonable. Unreasonable is saying we've got to go for a title this year because we've spent so much money in the last 12 months. That's unreasonable. Because again, if we spent the money, if Man City, for example, if Man City's owners never came along and Man City, we know now, doesn't exist, it's still the fucking shit-ridden team in Manchester that always gets relegated every other year, and the only real money bags that we've got to compete with was still Chelsea, then yes, you can then argue we this season we'd have to start competing for the title this season. But that's not the case. Plus got Newcastle, but I'm just saying, if you didn't have the money of if Newcastle and Man City didn't have their owners that they have now, because Newcastle will join us eventually in the next year or two, in terms of going for the titles and this, that, and the other. We're going to ignore this game. This is what I'm just glossing over this game, by the way. I'm just going there. We're just talking bollocks. It was just literally Liverpool as they are, and Chelsea with the only team that has the sugar daddy would be Chelsea still. Even if what happened to the old owner still happened and this, that, and the other, and we still spent the money we have done in the last 12 months, then you could say, okay, we should be competing, we should be going for the title this year. But that's not the case, sadly. Next year, again, assuming my expectations are met and we get back in the Champions League, in terms of league-wise, in terms of the league, if my expectations for this season is met come May and we are back in the Champions League for next season, then my expectation on what we do in the league next season changes. That means, for me, we have to mount a serious challenge for the title. Not win it, but mount the challenge next season. And then the following season, when I say mount the challenge, I mean, as I say, worst case scenario, if I was not winning it, fall away in like the 3-2 game before the season ends, we fall short, for example. And then the following, as I say, from next season, the following season after that, we then assess our goals and go, no, we want to win it this time. We want to go that step further and push and do what we've got to do to win that title. It's funny that Chelsea are spending crazy money, but then their fans don't want to say no. Of course not, because they don't want to be. They did that last year. Spent all that money mainly on Lukaku, but they were European champions. They went and got a striker, £100 million and all that. When it put themselves out there went out there with chest and went, we're gonna win the league. Da, 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 da. No one's coming near us. We're gonna fucking walk it. Come December, there was that. Come New Year's Day, they were out the title race basically. Once they fell away, there was no looking back. They didn't do what Liverpool did. They fought their way back into title race. They were like, okay, now Chelsea fans, even though it's under new ownership, they have spent a lot of money. A lot. They don't want to fall into that trap again. But realistically, they should be. If you not look at who they've bought in, but in terms of how much they've spent, adding to what they already had, and you consider most of that squad won a Champions League title in recent times under this manager. They should be competing for the title. It's a shame that they're not considering themselves as title challengers. But I've said even with the money they've spent for myself as a rival, you can say I'm being biased, but I honestly think under the new ownership, even though they are spending money, it's an unknown thing. It's the new ownership now. Even though they are spending money, it's an unknown quantity. No one knows what's gonna be around the corner for Chelsea this year. What's actually the plan with the club in terms of the structure and how they plan to go forward and start and actually continue that competitive nature that Roman built over 19 years. I personally think this year this is the start of the end for that dominance. I say dominance, that competitive side where they won league titles and Champions League and the European Cups and the FA Cups and the League Cups occasionally, all that. I think that all comes to an end from this season onwards, going forward. It'll be a slow, gradual thing. People will start seeing it slowly and gradually, and this will be the season it starts. Especially if I'm right in saying they don't get Champions League spots this season. And if they don't win nothing as well, domestically, it is literally the beginning of the end in terms of what they've built themselves up for the last 19 years. Oh yeah, of course it's all with and maybes. It's all hypotheticals that we're talking about at the moment, Stefan. There's nothing. It's a few games in as well. To be honest, the most cash spent in the Premier League is fucking crazy. Yeah, it is, but I'm sorry. In terms of the amount of money that's spent nowadays, not just in Premier League but in football in general, it's down to Chelsea running the bumpers. It's down to Man City. It's down to PSG. They started this. I don't care what anyone says. Eventually, he's going to catch up on Chelsea, and they won't be able to do what they've been doing this summer. I think this summer will be a one-off in terms of the spending and the amount of spending. I think it's going to be very tight-knit from next summer onwards. Because the whole structure of the club is going to change over the next 12 months, and that's what I say. If I am right, and I'm saying this, I've said this in literally because it balls kicked, that Chelsea won't get Champions League football this. They will not finish in the top four, Chelsea, in my opinion. If that comes out to be true, they will start slowly going down the route that we went down under the initial years of the Cronkies and the move to the Emirates and all that. The only difference is the owner's purse strings will be triple locked basically, and he'll probably go down the route of recruit within the academy and this, that, and the other, or spend wisely here and there. The only reason here I think he's allowed the money to be spent the way it has been is to get the fans on side this summer, to get the fans on side under their ownership, give them that hope. But from next summer onwards, no matter, especially as I say, I keep saying, especially if I don't get top four, things will be restricted. Finances will be restricted. There's talk of Tuchel getting a new contract and all that as well. If they don't mount for me, if they don't mount a significant chance for a title, and as I say, and I'm right, they don't get top four, he'll be gone come May, and coming after the season ends, he'll be gone. So it's a big payday for him. Well, hey. But yeah, Chelsea, I believe, as I say, this is a one-off, massive, like bring a load of big names in and get the fans on side. I've got a Chelsea neighbour next door to me. I spoke to him after the season ended, and he even said he believes that the club itself will go down the route of what Arsenal have done, self-sufficient, spend as you sell to spend, use your academy, this, that, and the other, all that jazz. And I think that's a very huge, big possibility. Vermin is really well Chusky, to be fair to the bloke. I mean, to be fair to the bloke, when he came in as the owner of Chelsea, he bought Chelsea back in 2003, summer of 2003, there wasn't financial fair play. So he could do what he did and spend the money the way he did in the early years to get them to catch up so far. Not just catch up with us, but us in United, but to literally sprint ahead of us within the space of 12 months of him being the owner. A luxury that Newcastle and Man City they've had to an expense over, but they've done. But Man City have had that to an extent as well. They've broke the rules, as we know. But anyway, but Newcastle actually haven't even got any of them luxuries at all. Newcastle have not got the luxuries that Man City and Chelsea had under when they first came in. They've got to do it slowly and gradually. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be. When we go to vaccine lyrical, but fucking the gobber. They have now, but I'm saying when they have now, like everyone else has to. But when Roman first came in 2003, financial fair play didn't exist. He could literally spend whatever he wanted, which he did. Hence why it was such a quick turnover for him in terms of after one full season when he first came in, they finished second, semi-final of the Champions League, quarterfinals or the fifth final of the full final of the FA Cup? I can't remember now. I think it was full final of the FA Cup. I can't remember if I looked at the League Cup. But after a somewhat decent season for his first year as the owner, not a bad season to be semi-finalist of the Champions League and runners up in the league to an unbeaten Arsenal. He was able to have the players he brought in at that point. Been off to Claudio Ranieri, bring in Mourinho, a new Champions League winner, bring in a few more players, and just leapfrog us along with United for the first few years. And then because of that, he was able to maintain what he'd built. But when financial fair play came in, to go, okay, little one here, little one there, You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And they have to do that, but they are doing it either way. They're not complaining, not kicking off, going, "It was unfair. Why?" They're just getting on with it, and they're doing it. As you say, the normal way. Unless you're Barcelona, you can sell, you can sell future profits to keep your afloat and buy new players. Or owning players you already have money. Yeah. How and why Barcelona are being allowed to do what they're doing, like the UEFA and FIFA aren't getting involved at all, and allowing this drama to just unfold. This farce of a club to run the way they want to run it all of a sudden. Charter weddings and God knows and parties at the fucking new camp, like fucking hundreds of thousands, to allow them to sell their own, sorry, to allow them to share TV rights that they have, just to get to register 4 players they've had but not had in the books all summer, whilst fucking trying to De Jong's literally there cap in hand, please give me what I want and I'll go. And they're going, no. And that none of the top dogs are getting the orders. Just going, okay, no worries, not our problem. We skipped past the Tottenham game, yay. Well, now, boom. And as I say, that Southampton has scored. And it's offside. But yeah, that's the v Southampton. Oh, he's way offside. Bloody hell. Yeah, Sporting Toby has gone down the plane. That went out the window years ago, literally 18 years ago. No, 19 years ago, sorry. That went out the window. Rogers is a bottle chop, still shock. Mate. What was it? I was in a live chat on a YouTube channel last night. And they were talking about obviously Gerald v Lampard, because it was basically who's going to be sacked first. And I said I've said Lampard, Gerrard, and Brendan Rodgers will be the first 3 managers that'll be gone before Christmas. No, sorry, before the World Cup, they'll be gone. All 3 of them will be gone. I mean, you've got Fofana, after literally 2 seasons once out. Tielemans has wanted out since last year and wants to come to Arsenal. Knows that we're interested and said, let me go to Arsenal. Suddenly today, Brendan comes out before the game kicks off. The reason they're not in the team is because their headspace is not in the right place. Which tells you everything, that basically we're making moves, Chelsea are making moves, and they're basically not committed. They want to go. You've got James Maddison here, heavily linked to the move to Newcastle. Newcastle are saying, that's a good goal. Talking of which, it was a fantastic free kick from Maddison there. What a goal. But Maddison, obviously the last bit of game went in from Newcastle was £50 million. They'll probably keep going for that. If they really want it, they'll probably go for one more bid for, probably leave it for around deadline day to do that, so to really amp it up a bit and put the pressure on Leicester to sell. So Kasper Schmeichel just went, Nice wants me, bye Brendan, bye Leicester. Went to Newcastle for the money. Nice for the money, sorry. Because they're new owners and they've got a lot of money about me. But he's gone to Nice, played the rest of his career there. Who else wants that? There's someone Ricardo Pereira. He's out injured for the next 6 months, so we've got no backup to James Justin now. It's James Justin on nothing. There's Fofana on his other half. He's in the stands on his own. He's not even. Fofana's there, and he was in the stands at the game. Obviously not in the matchday squad. Tielemans was, but he was eventually used. But Fofana's there, but he's in the actual. He's actually in the stands, not as it. When I say in the stands, obviously, I mean like the civilian. Che Adams goal there, good goal. As in the civilian seats, he's not even in the actual. With his other half, by the way, he's not actually in like the box the boxes or anything like that at the game earlier on today. He's literally just there with his other half. If obviously a certain part of the stadium where it's been closed off, especially for him, but still, he's not actually in the posh seats. Right there. Oh! What's Ward doing there, man? Was he been booked? Was he booked for diving? Bloody hell! Ward have got away with one now. I don't care because he should never have came out the way he did there. 84th minute, no 1-1. Southampton the attack. Ball in. Oh, what a goal! Chadham's again. That's a real taking goal. That was. Mate. There's another thing. Leicester as well, in terms of their transfer business, they bought a goalkeeper after Smokkel left. They upgraded to number 2. It wasn't even good enough to number 2 to be number 1 now. But they brought in another goalkeeper on the free. That's all they've done. They spent no money whatsoever. They could be. Oh my God. Leicester could be another one of them unexpectedly out of nowhere, but they could be a couple of teams top of this season. And having a nice little fight in there to stay in the league. Civilians. Mate, I don't know if again you'll watch it back later, Stefan, or watch it tomorrow, and you'll see what I mean. Like the camera literally goes, it's panned on Fofana and his partner. Even though there's no one else around them, you can tell the seats aren't the nice seats. You can tell where he's been put are the fans, where the fans, say civilian, where the fans sit basically. Oh, yeah. Oh, Everton v Forest next. Woohoo! See how we're doing anyway whilst we're waiting for them to chat bullshit. $9.31 now, and yeah, Bournemouth Arsenal Watchalong from earlier. $9.31 now. This is the thing. We do, as like Colonel said earlier, just of a watch. Even though they're up there from one extreme to the other, basically the Watchalong streams so far in the first few games and over pre-season and the Women's Euros, etc. They're helping me out massively in terms of the channel, in terms of actually getting new eyes and all that in and all that jazz. But it's my actual, the podcast itself, like 2 podcasts or 3 podcasts a week when I'm hosting the one and Andrew's collab every fortnight. It's free, but they're the ones that are struggling to get numbers up. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know at the moment how to fix that one, but I'll fix it. Might be a long-term problem, but just a pain in the ass. That's all. But we'll fix that as things go throughout the season and the channel grows as well. That will all be fixed. That won't be a problem. But yeah. That's typical Brendan. Probably thought he was lacking character, so sat him naughty step. Oh dear. What is this? What sort of negates what he said about, because he was asked for the game. Why was Tielemans on the bench and why was Fofana not even in the matchday squad? The heads aren't in the right space. But he's got one of them on the bench. And he brings that person on. it's clear as day they both don't want to be there. We know Tielemans. We've known Tielemans hasn't wanted to be there since they won the FA Cup. He wanted to move on a year ago, 6 months, and then 7 months ago, back in just before the window opened for the winter window last year, or this year, whatever, last season, sorry. He got wind that Arsenal was interested in him, and ever since then he's wanted to come to us. The only ones that are holding this, the only thing that's holding this Arsenal getting Tielemans now, the only thing that's holding it up now is Leicester, and they have nothing. Even though he is their player, they have nothing to. There's nothing really backing them up, really, in terms of. When I say backing up, I mean they've got no stronghold basically in what the words out now. My mind's gone fucking mush. But yes, negotiations. In the negotiations, they've got nothing to hold on to. They've got nothing to grasp, basically, because everything's out of their hands. You've got a player that hasn't wanted to be there in over a year now. You've got a club that's interested in him. He's got also the player in question. He's like 1 year left in his contract now. He's in the final year of his contract. Will not sign any extension. He's made it perfectly clear. As I say, there's a club that's interested in him in Arsenal. He wants to come to Arsenal. Arsenal hold all the cards here in terms of negotiating. Leicester ain't got a fucking chance, basically. It's out of their hands. They have, one way or the other, they have to basically succumb. If they want to make some money out of this, off the back of this player leaving, they have to accept our offer now, or risk going into January, 6 months left in his contract, and us just going in with even less. We're offering him £25 million, by the way. We've offered Leicester £25 million for him. That's for a year left in his contract. Would you, as a club, knowing the situation and all that, would you accept that 25 million and move on, or would you drag it out, knowing that come January the same club's going to come in with a new offer, but it's going to be it's going to be a far less than £25 million because there's 6 months left, and they could potentially wait again another 6 months to get him for free, and then you make nothing out of it. Leicester have no choice. Fofana and Tielemans want to go. The team again. Fofana's wanted to go since the word got out that Chelsea wanted him, and he's seen obviously what happened to Leicester last year. They're not really in Europe now. Rightly so. For a player of his ilk, with all due respect, he wants to be at a club that's in Europe. He wants to move on and go to an upgrade of what he's currently at, in his opinion. And again, you're getting off at 85 million now, and you're just digging your heels in there. Whereas if you accepted both these offers, 85 and 25, you've got 95, 105, 110 million pounds to spend that you could use to replace them both them players, and have a bit of change in your pocket as well to spare. But what do I know? Exactly, and that's what you're also going to say. That's what you're in the comment now. That is what you go on to say. Talking of which, we are on the Everton Norwich, fucking leg wish. Everton v Forest match. Good goalkeeping there, Henderson. Probably go for the money. That seemed to be what football's all about now. What are you saying they should take Leicester should be taking the money, or you're talking about the players individually there going for the money? I mean, we're not going to offer much more than what he's currently in terms of Tielemans. It'll be a bit obviously more than what he's currently on. There won't be a massive jump from one extreme to the other, put it that way. We've learned from our mistakes there, eventually. You could buy 3 to 4 players. Exactly. And look, that's what I'm saying. You could, yeah, just 3 to 4 players for £30 million. We've done it ourselves. Over the last 12 months, we've bought players of that ilk. I mean, we bought, was it for £35 million? This summer we bought Fabio Vieira. There are players out there, not just in Premier League and in England in general, in and around Europe. You can go out that are right little gems that have not even been noticed yet properly. You can go out there and nick them while you can, and give them a platform and help rebuild, basically, be helpful part of the rebuild. And you'll still have from 120 the 110 mil I was talking about earlier. They accepted both the 25 and 85 million pounds respectively from both clubs for players that we're talking about. As you say, they could quite easily. What a poor goalkeeper in there from Pickford. In the number one, parries it out straight into the Nottingham Forest winger. Bang, 1-0. And the Forest fans have gone mental in the way end. It's good to see Forest back after 20. Let's just say I'm 33 for fuck's sake. It's for the first time in 23 years. I was a kid. I was literally a kid when they were last in the Premier League. I've gone from pretty much my entire teens and 20s with them not being in the Premier League. It's not, as I say, it's not as a neutral, no connection to it. It's nice to see a club of Nottingham Forest standing historically back in the Premier League. The players, you're going to that's fair enough. I mean, Chelsea will throw money at that. In terms of there's going to be 1-0. Gordon, boom, blocked. Whoever that is, McNeil, blocked, cleared. Bloody hell. T-Vex obviously is so inconsistent, mate. I've been saying for the last only 10 to 11 months, how's he still in number one? But you got fucking twat Southgate going, he hasn't let me down yet. Like with Maguire. Well, they haven't let me down yet, so they're still my play. I'm still going to pick them as my first choice 11 players. Yeah, that's worked out before. 1-0. Okay. We'll take him from Damari, but still. No, it is. It's obviously you've been an Ipswich fan as well. What's that? You got Ipswich got relegated in 2002. 2002. Obviously, we won the league. What was it? So that's the start of my. I can't think now. 11. I was literally a few days away from being 12 when you guys got relegated in 2002. Like when the season ended. I mean, a few days later, my birthday and all that. And I'm 33 now. Jesus Christ. That's again. I want to see the likes of Ipswich back in the Premier League. Like we've seen with Forest and all that. I want to see them teams back. Charlton Athletic, 2005. No, sorry. 2005? No, 2006, sorry. 2006, 05-06 season. They were relegated, Charlton. I want to see them as a London derby and all that. I want to see them back in the Premier League. But obviously, they've got both Ipswich and Charlton have got a long way to go to get back to that in terms of they've got to get out of League One first and back into the Championship before that can become a reality. But I do think I say nights for fuck's sake. Forest, they're going to be a breath of fresh air for this league this season because it's been so long since they were in the league last. Obviously, the unexpected, the way that obviously Steve Cooper gets his team set up and all that, the way they play, the home fans at the City Ground on the match day, it's gonna be unique. It's gonna be nice. It's as a neutral to see. I hope again. I hope they do stay up and they don't fall off a cliff basically at any point in the season and get dragged into the bottom three and go down on a whimper. They make a proper fight of it and and finish in a decent position for the first season. There's nothing because it's been so long. The media and the bookies ain't going to give them any. They ain't giving Forest any chance of staying up, and because it's been so long, you can understand why. But I'd like them to upset the odds and actually stay up and then consult and keep going in the building in terms of maintaining becoming part of the Premier League furniture again. Become a part of the Premier League furniture for a very long time. Because the Premier League, I don't care what anyone says. The Premier League does need the big historic clubs like your Forest, you like your Leeds, in the Premier League. Got Chris and chat and other Liverpool fans. So I've got 2 Liverpool fans in today. Woohoo! That'll be the first one for a long time. Oh dear, how are you doing, Chris? Anyway, I hope you had a good day. Oh, West Ham Brighton. Is that at West Ham, by the way? The most expensive place to eat and drink now. We are top of the league. I said we are top of the league. So just showing the league table on the TV screen. So yeah, for 24 hours at least, we're top of the league until Man City beat Newcastle. Maybe Newcastle get a result tomorrow. Way, we're top of the league for a week. Woo. Until it all falls apart, we become third or fourth. What come May? Like, as I say, I'm not expecting us to win the league. I'm not demanding we have to win the league either, or it's a failure. Because again, Revenite is in the chat still. For us to be, for it to be a realistic ambition for Arsenal fans to want Arsenal to compete for the title and win the title this season, you've got to go and get yourself a time machine and stop the likes of Roman Abramovich, the Man City ownership, and the Newcastle and the Saudis all taking the Qataris and Saudis taking over the respective Chelsea, City, and Newcastle. Because without all that, then yeah, with what we spent to rebuild, then you can say we have to be winning a title this season. But that isn't a realistic ambition because. Okay, Chelsea aside for a second, because I've said what I said about Chelsea already. But because you've got Newcastle doing it the right way into the building to get to that point to be competitive. But at the moment, we've got a Man City country-run club already that's already at the top of ready and fully established, and you've got to knock them off. You've got to somehow knock them off their perch. I mean, I know Liverpool have been trying to do it on their own for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. 5, 6 years, sorry. We try to do it on their own, and look how hard. And yes, I don't know if you agree, but look how hard it is for you guys to. Apart from that one season where you won the league, look how hard it is to knock them off their perch and keep them off their perch. They were on their perch. You knocked them off for a season, and they came back fighting, and you came close last season, literally seconds, he was minutes away from winning the title on that last game of the season. And they still fought back. Obviously, it'll be if we like of an Arsenal can come in and help lighten the load for you guys and really help you yourselves, like Arsenal, Liverpool, come together, and it might be a bit easier. But for one team doing that, it's proving difficult. Imagine little old Arsenal at the moment in a massive not near the end of the rebuild, just over the halfway mark in terms of where we want to get to. Well, now because they haven't qualified for Champions League, but you know what I'm saying. And people are out there going, "Oh, we spent so much money now. We should be competing, but we need to win the title. It's a failure." You've got to sit back, look at it, go through everything I've just mentioned, look at us where we are, and realise it's a work in progress. We will get there eventually, but until then, honestly, I'm fed up. We better win. No, if you don't, if you do not beat Man United on Monday, you don't deserve. Liverpool don't deserve a single trophy this season at all. Period. Look where United are. If you cannot go to Old Trafford for months, so all their protesting and the downfall, what's going on there, even though you've got your injuries and this you mentioned before, that you mentioned earlier on in the stream, if you cannot go to United and the dismay that is going on there and get a win one way or the other, comfortable or not, then you do not deserve title race, League Cup defence, FA Cup defence, Champions League run, nothing this season. Because they are fucking shit. And the thing is, I'm saying this, we've got to play in a few weeks, so this could come back and bite me in the arse. But I'm sorry. Liverpool are streets ahead of us in terms of obviously you are their competitor, Man City's competitors. You should be pushing aside of no matter what, pushing to the side a weakened Manchester United, a deflated Manchester United. You should be. I thought again, even though we're nowhere near at Liverpool's level, Man City's level, going by how things have started this season, for respectively for ourselves and Man United, well, literally when Brighton beat Man United on match day 1, I'm watching the game. I'm in one of my group chats, and I'm going in the WhatsApp. I'm like, you know what? Before the season started, I said 5 wins going to the Man United game. If we win 5 out of 5, that's fantastic, and then get what we can at United. And obviously, I'm now watching this now. You know what? I don't care what anyone says. I want 6 wins out of fucking 6. No excuses. So if I'm saying that, I know we haven't got the injuries and all the other stuff that you guys have got at the moment, touch wood. There's still a few weeks that can change. I am still expecting that of my team, that we can go to Manchester United and put them to the sword for once. For once in our lives, we can take advantage of their weakness and put them to the sword. We need more clubs nicking points with City. The gap is too big. I wish at least the top 10 had a chance of beating City on every given day. At least 60 to 40 in City's. Yeah. And I think, as I say, in terms of Arsenal, I say about top at least 10. But 10 clubs and all that. But in terms of us as a club, I think, again, gauging, we'll get a proper gauge of where we are, how far away we are from you guys and City in October, when we have to play you and City in literally the space in between. In literally the arguably over the course of the season, the toughest month of the season. January's tough, but it's not as tough. I mean, January's Newcastle, damn not away down the road, Man United at home, along with the FA Cup 3rd round game. And if we get that far, a League Cup semi-final to deal with if we get that far. But in terms of the league-wise, October's our toughest month because we've got Tottenham start of October at home, Liverpool the following week at home. I need to have a look. There's a game in between Liverpool and City we've got. I keep forgetting who it is. I'm having a look now. It's away from home, obviously, but it's a winnable game. It's not a. There's only. One second. Matches. That's the one I want. see all fixtures. Thank you very much. So yeah, I've got Fulham, Villa, So Tottenham, Liverpool at home on the 1st and 9th of October. On the 16th, we've got Leeds away at Elland Road. That's the one, which seems probably 3 points there. Then we've got a few days later on the Thursday, 20th of October, on Amazon, by the way, 8:15 kickoff, Man City at home. And then we end the month with winnable games against Southampton and Forest. But the first half, basically the first half of that month, 3 of our 4 games in that first half of October, league-wise, that's a league alone, that's not including Europe and all that, is an extremely tough month for us. The toughest month of the season, as I say. Tottenham at home, again, our record at home against Tottenham in recent years, in my lifetime, I think we do well at home, put it that way. So that should be a problem, but it's still Tottenham. They're still going to be going. They're going to be our rival. They are going to be rivals for where we want to finish it coming in this season. Then we've got you guys. You could be by this time you'll be probably have your 4th squad back, no problems whatsoever. So again, that's for me. Liverpool at home on the 9th, City at home on the 20th are the 2 games I'm looking at, along with obviously Tottenham, but Tottenham aside for a second. Tottenham at home aside for a second here. Liverpool at home and City at home. They're the 2 games I'm looking at engaging come full time on the 20th of October. And I'm there assessing where we really are as a club. How far away are we from being able to compete alongside yourself and City? Because with all due respect, again, to the teams in all the other teams in the league, we should battle for them. We should be battling for them next week. The way we start the season, we should absolutely. We're at home next week as well. We should absolutely obliterate for them next week. Villa on the Wednesday, 4 days later, under the lights at home. Again, the way they started the season, we should absolutely annihilate them. United, the way they started again, going by how they started, the way things are at the moment. We should finally be able to go to Old Trafford and put a number on them for once and for all. Just put them to the sword and really hurt them even more. Really rub it in. We've got Everton at home again. We know we're going. We should win that game. Brentford away should win that. And as I say, October Tottenham should win, but you could see us. Anything can happen in that game. It's Northland Derby. Form goes out the window. It's an early kickoff as well, but. As an Arsenal fan, I'm going to be. You can call me biased, but I'm going to say we should win that. It's then the week later, Liverpool. 8 days later, Liverpool at home. Like we saw last season, we lost. Was it the league-wise anyway? In the league at the Emirates, was it 2-0 we lost? We started off first half well as well against you guys in the last season. It's the second half where we started off second half well, had a few chances, but then just fell away and gave you guys too much space and respect, and bang, you punished us for it. So I'm looking at that game. It's going to be a true test of where we are compared, how far away we are from yourselves. Then we have Leeds. Again, Leeds, we should beat them. Away or at home, we should beat them. Then we have City, and that after that, as I say, will be the true. After that game, I can then say, not only how I can say, even though we're at home for both them games, I can say, as an Arsenal fan myself, in my opinion, people might disagree with me by me saying this, but I'll be able to see and say how far away are we really from you? Are we as closer than we thought we were? Or are we still that bit short, basically, and how short are we, etc., etc. As long as there's no dodgy refereeing, City, if you're listening. Then we've got, as I say, ended October, Southampton away, fuck off, and then Forest at home. Then the last 2 games for the World Cup, Chelsea away at the Bridge, and Wolves away. Then we come back on Boxing Day with West Ham. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying before. But I've just come back now and just said, in terms of the time by the time we do play you in October, we will more likely be. I mean, not me. Liverpool will more likely be back to full strength in terms of injuries and suspensions and God knows what. We probably will more likely be back to a full strength squad by then. That's why I'm saying as well. That's another reason why I'm saying I'll be able to properly gauge where we, no matter what the result is, being because we're at home, I can actually be able to say, depending on our performance and it as well, how far away or how close, etc., we are from yourselves. Along and then a couple of weeks later, with the same with City. Good win today, yeah, fantastic win today. I wanted 2 more goals, a bastard, but fucking got one got chalked off of fucking VAR offside bullshit, which I still have my complaints about. And then we just waited to do the last 5 minutes as us really go and hoe at them. But still, it is what it is. We still won anyway. We won. We got a clean sheet. I can't ask much more than that. The United Channel meltdowns is going to be awesome. If Arsenal beat them, well worth my 20 quid. Mate, if we finally go to Old Trafford and absolutely put the sword on and rub the salt in the wound for once and for all, for the first time in God knows how many opportunities we've had by doing this, but we finally fucking do it, I am going to be unbearable to United fans. On this platform and on social media, I am going to be the most unbearable prick alive for the following week. My advice for Arsenal is ignore every cup and focus on the league. It depends on the draw. In terms of the cups, it depends on the draw. If we get a Premier League cup, then if we get like the League Cup, for example, because there's the first competition comes for the World Cup and all that. If we get a Championship League 1 or League 2 team in the draws in the early rounds, we're going to go out our way to get through. But I think I agree with you when it comes to the later stages of the competition, like quarterfinals or whatever. If we're getting drawn against a Premier League side, because as I say, the World Cup's slap bang in the middle where it is of the season, I would. Even though I do want Arsenal to win our domestic trophy this year, either the FA Cup or the League Cup, one of the two, along with get ourselves back in the top 4, domestic-wise. I do want to see us, as I say, win one of them. But I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying as well. Especially now we're back in Europe, I do get that. So, but let's just see. We'll see how things go anyway. We'll take it. Again, we're going to take it game by game, just go through the motions and see what happens as the season goes on. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying earlier on about you guys. I want to see you're doing well at the start, but the last time we did that well was if you first dropped into that league and then you fucking fell apart after one defeat. I want to see Goldbridge and Pig raging as Arsenal beat them. It's going to be sweet. Alice as well. Alice, yeah. Oh my God, bless her. Screaming, who the fucking well loses to Arsenal? Well, it seems most teams nowadays, including you bastards. And this is what I go back to before we wrap things up. This is the self-righteous. We are Man United. We are better than you. Even now, you are peasants to us. How dare you even come to us and beat us? Sort of that mentality of the fans. They have that mentality, the fans, that arrogance, but their clubs don't really that standard anymore. So, and as I've been saying for the last few weeks, I want this to continue as long as possible. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving seeing the club itself demise, the fan base having a meltdown. And as I say, there's a clip that's gone around in the last week, since last weekend, from the Football Terrence channel, a clip that was taken from a video that was live stream from last year, basically, just after the window had closed. Just after. at some point in the either before the window closed or after, it had obviously Terry hosting. You had a Chelsea fan on there. Jess, Jessinho, or she knows football. Jess from America, the Arsenal fan. She was on there, and out now, as I say, her a Chelsea fan, and 3 other United fans, and they're all Jess is sitting there in this clip. She's sitting, obviously taking it in, letting them over there saying all that, being respectful. And Chelsea fan has a few digs at Arsenal, as they do, and yeah, that is what it is. But the United fans, 2 of the 3 United fans, really going at Arsenal, going, "Oh, this ain't the Arsenal of old. Why are they going for these unknowns? They need to be. Why this is not the Arsenal? They're coming back. Why are they not bringing in big name players? They're going to be absolutely. Do they want to be in the top 4? They don't want to be mid-table again. Really going in." And you fast forward a year. Who is in a better position? Arsenal going by our strategy and our transfer policy, etc., or Man United have got all these mercenaries on the books doing what they're doing. Oh yeah, Arsenal, and we haven't got to Ronaldo, even though he's near the end of his career. We haven't got to Ronaldo. We haven't got to Varane. We haven't got, because obviously, what's the name? His name now. It's coming in now. Got his name gone. We haven't got a Bruno Fernandes or fucking Donny van der Beek. I mean, technically we have, in terms of obviously lots of Odegaard and all that. So that's a bad example. Take Van der Beek. I feel sorry for Van der Beek. We haven't got the world class signings like they do. We haven't thrown money at the situation this time. At this moment, we haven't. Unlike we have done in years gone by, we're not now going. Oh, we ain't going down to. We learned. That's our main mistake. We learned from it. United aren't learning from that mistake. We're still seeing it now. They've had the bad starts of the season. What's the owner's first thing to do? Throw money at it. Buy Casemiro from Real Madrid for over the odds money and give him 350k a week. Bring in fucking this one and that one. It's got to be big names as well, because our fans won't accept anything less. They're not learning from it. They're repeating it. And this is the thing. I feel sorry for Ten Hag, because he is a good manager. And I said this back in May when it was announced officially, that it didn't make, unless they were going to back him, like we've seen with Arteta at Arsenal, and then bring his players in and this, that, and that, get rid of the dead wood and really back him, even in the tough times, really back him, and not keep repeating the same mistakes that they have done in the last 10 years. Nothing's going to change, and he's going to fucking be, and his career is going to be fucked for it. 2 games in, they've lost 2 games. We've got to throw money at it. This big player, that big player, because the fans won't accept. And it's not the mentality. It's not just the mentality of the club. It's the mentality in the fan base has got to change. Just because it's may not as a big club in inverted brackets nowadays, they're not the club they used to be in terms of being competitive and etc. They have to literally. Why is it so hard to swallow your pride and go, you know what? For all the shit we've given Arsenal over the years, the club and the fans, etc. You know what? They've gone out and done something about their policy, about everything they've done wrong. They've addressed it and they're getting it right. Why is it so hard for them to acknowledge that, in the sense of, well, you know what? It worked for them. It could work for us, especially as we're a bigger club. But look, it is what it is. As I say, long may it continue. If they want to continue making repeating the same mistakes, every manager they bring in doing the same thing year in, year out, leave them to it, because if they don't want to accept, they have to make the changes that we've done. little twist on it, then things aren't going to change. It's only going to get worse for them to the point where it'll get to a point where the best managers in the world won't want to come. Full stop. No manager worth their salt in England or abroad is going to see what's going on and go, you know what? I want to be the man that changes things, because they know they would have seen what's gone on for the last X amount of years and gone, every other manager's gone now. You've done you don't give them what they want or how the don't structure things around said managers. It's the same structure, the same mistakes. Why am I going to risk my reputation for a payday? But it is what it is. Leave them to it, as I say. And long may the VOT continue. But yeah, I'm going to wrap things up anyway, guys. I'm going to go get some sleep. And I'll see you on the other side. As always, if you are new to the channel, do smash that like button, do subscribe, do hit the like button as well. And we'll see you on the other side, as always. Up the Arsenal. Come on, you gunners.